Hello and welcome back to Data Analysis and Visualization. I'm Chivita Christie, and in this video, I'm going to continue once again with data science for driving growth in e-commerce. And this is the last video for this topic, data science for driving growth in e-commerce. And in this, we are going to discuss about segmentation and targeting, how you can perform segmentation and targeting. Segmenting and targeting for success. The purpose of segmenting your channels and audiences is so that you can exact target your messaging and offerings for optimal conversions according to the specific interests and preferences of each user segment. So segmenting is where you will decide, where you will divide your audience into groups based on what they are interested in, so that you could send specific messages to them in order to generate a better response. So, for example, you might have audiences that are more interested in buying gadgets and audiences more interested in buying clothes. And obviously, if you were to send emails or messages about, buying clothes to audiences that are more interested in buying gadgets, then you might lose some revenue or some audience even. So you don't want to do that. And that's why you have to perform segmenting. If your goal is to optimize your marketing return on investment by exact targeting customized messages to entire swathes of your audience at one time, then you can use segmentation analysis to group together audience members by shared attributes and then customize your messaging to those target audiences on a group by group basis. So you would perform segmentation analysis to understand what attributes are common, what attributes your audiences share among themselves, and divide them into groups to understand which kinds of customized messages you can send in order to different groups in order to gain more revenue as well as customers. In the following sections, I'm going to tell you what applications can help you make user segmentation easier and how you can use segmentation and targeting tactics to grow the layers of your sales funnel. So sales funnel layers, we've seen them several times now over the course of the 4 videos and this 5th one. And you're going to see them once again to understand how segmenting and targeting works. So segmenting for faster and easier e-commerce growth. Data scientists working in growth hacking should be familiar with and know how to derive insight from the following user segmentation and targeting applications, and we are going to see them now. The first application is Google Analytics Segment Builder, which is available in google.com/analytics. Okay, and I've already talked about Google Analytics when I discussed web analytics for growth hacking. Now we are discussing it for segmenting. So Google Analytics in itself contains a segment builder feature that makes it easier for you to set up filters when you configure your segments within the application. And you can use this tool to segment users by demographic data such as age, gender, referral source, nationality, and so on. For more on this segment builder, you can check out Google Analytics help page at this particular link you can see here. So if you go there, you'll understand more how this segment builder works. And sometimes segmenting your users is very simple because you have a lot of demographic data already, like age and gender, and referral source means who the user was referred by. So if suppose I'm referring a user, it's possible that I have some specific attributes that I share with that user. And even nationality plays an important role in creating your segments. So that is another another feature that the segment builder uses to create groups of people. Next, we have Adobe Analytics, which is available at this link. And you can use Adobe Analytics for advanced user segmentation and customer churn analysis, or analysis to identify for reasons for and preempt customer loss. So I'm going to tell you what customer churn is in a minute. But Adobe Analytics, once again, is a web analytics tool, but it also provides you with advanced user segmentation, which can allow you to segment your users. And it also provides customer churn analysis, which allows you to identify the reasons for losing customers. It also helps you to preempt those causes. Preempt in the sense, uh, stopping your customer loss. So you can, once you know the reason, you could probably take an action to stop your customers from leaving. So now, what is customer churn? It is a term that describes the loss or churn of existing users or customers. Customer churn analysis is a set of analytical techniques that are designed to identify, monitor, and issue alerts on indicators that signify when customers are likely to churn, which means when they are likely to leave your subscription, leave your website or your brand. With the information that's generated in customer churn analysis, businesses can take preemptive measures to retain at-risk customers. So if you knew this information, if you get this information beforehand, the reasons why customers might leave your website, then the businesses, people running those businesses can make decisions about, how you can retain those customers that you are at the risk of losing. Next is web trends that you can find on webtrends.com. WebTrends visitor segmentation and scoring offers real-time customer segmentation features that help you isolate, target, and engage your highest value visitors. So this is all real time. You can know how to segment your users, how to isolate a certain group of users, and then target them and engage your highest value visitors in your content. The conversion optimization solution also offers advanced segmenting and targeting functionality that you can use to optimize your website, landing pages, and overall customer experience. Next, you have IBM Product Recommendations available on this particular link. And this solution utilizes IBM Digital Analytics, customer segmentation, and product segmentation methods to make optimal product recommendations to visitors of e-commerce websites. IBM Product Recommendation Solutions can help you upsell or cross-sell your offerings. So IBM Digital Analytics solution also provides you with customer segmentation as well as product segmentation methods. And this will help you in, recommending your products, in optimizing the way you recommend products to your visitors on your e-commerce websites. And it can help you to increase your sales and also cross-sell your offerings. Now we are going to see segmenting and targeting for acquisitions, how to acquire more users through segmenting and targeting. You can optimize your acquisition efforts to meet the exact preferences and interests of your prospective users. If you want to maximize your user acquisition return on investment, then you can use segmenting and targeting to group your prospective users and channels by interest and style preferences, and then use those groupings to send out exact targeted messaging to prospective users en masse. So you want to send en masse, which means group messages, to people based on their style and preference. And for that, you would be using segmenting and targeting for acquisitions. If you knew that these users are interested in this particular type of area or field, then you would be able to send messages to these users that are specific to their interests. And this might help you in acquiring more users because then they are more likely to click on that link or advertisement that you have placed. Acquisitions, segmentation, and targeting helps you build your channels by providing you solid facts about the preferences of particular segments. After you have your prospective users grouped by preference, then it's just a matter of marketing to those preferences and avoiding messaging that's unfavorable within the segments. So once you know that this is a group of people that likes to receive updates on clothing, then it's just a matter of sending them attractive clothing images and messages that might help in gaining favor of your users. Prospective user and channel segmentation and targeting is the low-lying fruit of acquisitions growth, because after you figure out what works with each segment, it's just a matter of continuing to provide that content in order to make your user acquisition numbers grow. Let's see how you can use segmentation and targeting tactics to optimize your user acquisitions. So first is audience discovery. By performing segmentation analysis on your website visitor data, you can successfully group your website visitors in certain and distinctive classes according to their shared characteristics. So you just have to perform a segmentation analysis on your website visitor data, which you might be collecting and which is recommended for you to collect. And once you collect that, you just analyze them, group your audiences, try to understand what distinctive behavior each group has from another group, or what characteristics are shared between them. So this way you can perform audience discovery. This approach is far more definitive than the simple inference-based method used for analytics, but the purpose is the same: to use visitor data to better understand who your audiences are, what they are interested in, and how you can best target your messaging and offerings to appeal to such audiences. So this is almost similar to web analytics, but it is not exactly the same, because here you're trying to not just understand your audience, you're also trying to group your audience into several interests so that then you can send them specific messages and offerings. Next, you have social media channel optimization. You can use the insights you've gleaned via segmentation analysis to better understand and cater to the distinct preferences of your social media network audiences. So it's not just about, social media as in a separate group of people using Twitter and separate group of people using Facebook. It's also about within Facebook and Twitter, how you can further group your audiences, because even people using Twitter, although they are more interested in obtaining news about things, they might be interested in different types of news, and that's why you would still want to group those people on Twitter into different types of groups based on shared attributes and distinct attributes. And then you would be able to target them more specifically and provide them specific messages that they might be more interested in. Now we are seeing targeting for activations. So acquisition is one thing, that's the first layer of the sales funnel. The next layer is activations. So now we are seeing how you can target for activations. You can increase your user activations by understanding and responding to the interests and preferences of your website users. If you want to optimize your website and its content for increased user activations, then segmentation analysis can help you get a better understanding of your audience's interests. Let's see how you can use segmentation and targeting tactics to optimize your user activation growth. So first, once again, this is audience discovery, but this time we are talking more about activation from the activation point of view, not from acquisition. So you can perform segmentation analysis of your website visitor data in order to understand and substantively group users according to their types and preferences. These groupings help you develop more strategically targeted messages to pique the interests of people in your audience segment. And if you send them interesting messages, they are more likely to become active users from just acquired users. Next, you have strategic channel messaging. After you have a solid understanding of your user segments and their preferences, you can use the information to help you develop strategic, highly targeted messaging that performs well within each of the separate segments. This targeted approach can lead to increased social media followings and increased website subscriptions, which is your goal when you're talking about activations. You want increased social media following and you want increased website subscriptions. You don't just want to acquire users, you want them to be active users. You can increase your user retentions by understanding and responding to the interest. So we are now talking about retention. Once we have acquired users, activated users, now it's about retaining those users. And you can increase this retention by understanding and responding to the interests and preferences of your website users. To help increase user retention by reducing customer churn, you can deploy user segmentation and targeting strategies. So once again, you want to reduce customer churn where customers are leaving your website for some or the other reason. And you want to retain your users once you have acquired them and once you have them activated. So these are some segmenting and targeting strategies for that purpose. Simply segment your customer churn data into cohorts, which are subsets that are grouped according to similarities in some shared characteristic, and then analyze those cohorts to uncover trends and deduce the factors that contribute to churn within each of the groups. So what you will do here is whatever customer churn data is available to you, you will divide them into subsets, which are grouped according to similarities and shared characteristics, and then analyze those subsets to uncover trends and deduce the factors, understand what factors are causing each of those groups to actually decide to leave your website or maybe to engage less with your website. After you understand why particular segments of users are churning, you can take preemptive measures to stop that churn before you use the customers for good. So you want, before you lose the customers for good. So before you lose those customers, you want to make sure that you are able to preempt, you're able to take preemptive measures or sort of countermeasures to keep those users with you instead of losing them, because now you understand why they are leaving. So you would try to do something about it. You try to react to it in such a way that those users stay with you. You can increase your brand's revenues by understanding and responding to the interests and preferences of your e-commerce customers. User segmentation and targeting strategies can help you increase revenues and sales volumes. So we are now talking about how to increase revenues for your website. And because now once you've talked about acquisition and you've talked about activation, which is another layer, and the next layer was retention. Now we're talking about revenue, how to make your retained users to make a purchase from your website. So let us see how. So firstly, landing and e-commerce page optimization. You can use segmentation analysis on your website visitor data to better understand visitor behavior patterns per customer category, where a customer category could be defined by age, race, gender, income, referral source, or geographic region. So based on this type of data, you would first of all categorize your customers. And after you distinguish clear user segments and the preferences thereof, then you can use that information to create separate customized landing or e-commerce pages that are targeted for optimal sales conversions within the segments. So once you know that these are the groups, maybe you identified 7 groups among all your users, then you can design 7 different landing pages for your website. Don't just keep one page. You could design 7 pages for each of those segments and then provide a different kind of a page to each user based on all those groups that you have created. This would definitely generate more revenue for you. Next, you have recommendation engines. Whether you build them yourself or use a recommender application instead, recommendation systems use collaborative filtering or content-based filtering to segment customers according to shared characteristics. So recommendation engines are a really powerful tool in order to perform segmentation and targeting to increase revenues, because we often see that whenever you are checking your Google News feed or you're just browsing through Amazon, my page and your page is probably different because our interests are different. So we get different recommendations. Whenever we open those pages, we receive different recommendations. For example, I am interested in buying more books, so I would be getting more recommendations about those about books instead of clothing. And at the same time, I could be interested in a particular author uh, or particular genres of books, and so I might receive recommendations about that. It's not just about receiving recommendation on a category of products. It's also about it's a category within the category. That's what a recommendation engine does. It's not just let's say that I'm interested in reading books that are written by a author called Paulo Coelho. Then I'm not just going to get recommendations about buying random books. I'm going to get recommendations about books written by Paulo Coelho so that I know that these books are also available on the website. And hence, I'm definitely more likely to make a purchase from the website since it is recommending this particular book to me. So that's what a recommendation engine does. And you don't have to build them yourself. There are tools available to aid you in doing that. You don't have to make one yourself by coding. It's useful to segment customers in this way so that you can exact target offers per customer's known preferences in order to upsell and cross-sell your brand's offerings. So this is all about recommendation engines and everything you need to know about segmenting and targeting for acquisition, activation, retention, and revenues. And this is where I'm going to end this video and also end the series of videos that I've created for data science in e-commerce. I'm still going to continue videos on data science, data analysis, and visualization. So in the upcoming videos, you'll find visualization techniques. You'll learn visualization techniques and methods for data analysis. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you there, and thank you for watching.